Yeah, so I came here in 2006, the first time, straight out of the TAC Cup program, out of the Stingrays. I was here for a year under Brett Lovett then, and then went back to Somerville, which was my local footy club to play seniors there. Then came back to Frankston in 2009 under Shannon Grant. Stayed here till the end of 2011, so I spent 2 years under Simon Goosey, and then went back to Somerville. Then I went to Vermont for a year as an assistant coach, then went to Seaford to coach them and play there for the last 2 years. And now I'm going back to Somerville again to finish my footy career, hopefully. This cardigan or fleecy jumper probably doesn't do me any justice when I talk about it, but it's kind of always hard to describe how you play, I think, as a footballer. You could probably ask a lot of other guys that I played with and they'll probably all say there would have been something about me that was different. But one of the things I always, as a footballer, I've always done, and I think I still do really well, is just I've always been a competitor. I just love the contest, love throwing my body in there, probably a bit silly in some situations, and I've hurt myself pretty badly a few times by doing it, but that's footy to me. That's what you play footy for. You know, I still remember I always used to get a bit, we used to laugh about with people, some people you call them the shadows that play footy. You got the guys that like to lurk out on the wings and tend to disappear a bit on the footy field in certain situations, but you need the guys like that. But I never played me footy like that, so I never kind of really understood them, but I've always just enjoyed the contest. That's what's so good about football. You get an opportunity to try and hurt people to a certain extent, and not necessarily go and be a thug or go around to punch anyone like that. I've never been red carded, I've never been suspended, I've never been reported or anything like that. It's always been fair at the footy and at the man and at the contest. So if anything, that's the kind of football I've always been. I've been fair, but I've been hard, in essence. Yeah. So first time down here in 06, down here as an 18-year-old kid, pretty intimidating. Probably my highlight would have been getting on the list, making the cut. Got glandular fever during pre-season and pretty much took a while to recover from that, so it wasn't the most enjoyable experience for me. And then in 09, when I came back the second time, I had some great times here, on and off the field as well. On the field, I still remember my first senior game, getting selected for it. It was against Collingwood, and we're in the showers out the back there, and I remember I was in there with a few of the boys, and Shannon Grant walked in, and he's looking at me and he's laughing. He's like, "Hey, Crowbar, now you can go tell all the chicks that you play senior VFL footy," and we all had a bit of a laugh about it and stuff like that. But to me, that was a pretty special moment. I really enjoyed myself from that time on and really worked hard. But it was all about playing footy here for the footy club. It was more about representing Frankston and being a part of it with everyone else. I loved playing here for that 3 years, and to be vice captain of the footy club for 2 years with Clinton Proctor was a great experience as well. But there's nothing better than playing at Frankston and having Smythe on the hill, trying to take a hanger out on the wing there, and having all the boys on the hills chanting out Crowbar and stuff like that. So I had a great time here when I was playing. It was great. Yeah, it was great. I had a ball. One of the things I always look forward to at Frankston was Christmas break-up. Pre-season, we used to have some of the... it was one of the funniest things I reckon about playing here was always, we trained hard, we played hard, and we did win games of football. There was a period there where we didn't, but we always enjoyed ourselves. Probably in today's footy at VFL level, you can't probably enjoy yourselves as much as we used to, because you have to look after your body a little bit more. But some of the Saturday sessions here, I still remember one pre-season we had. There's a young bloke down here called Tom Simpson, who was a son of a jockey. So he's a little bloke, real quick and all that, and great bloke. And Mitch Boswood and I had everyone down at Davies down there. We told them we were the Langwarrin Soccer Club, and we had all the boys in there, and we got kicked out of there at about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and we all thought, we've got to get in the change rooms, and the Goosey told us that we weren't allowed in the change rooms for liquor licensing rules and stuff like that. And so we used to have a key you could get from the pokies, from the girls behind the bar and everything like that. And we thought we'd go in there and do some weights, and we'd get the key to the gym, and we'd come in the change rooms and we'd all do some weights. So we all sent young little Tommy Simpson up into the pokies, down to the cashier there, and got the key. And before you knew it, we had 40 of us in the change room sitting around here. There's a couple of slabs and blokes rolling around and doing what we do, and we had a great time. Had an absolute great time. And some of the Mad Mondays were brilliant as well, but that's what Frankston was all about. Play hard, play for the jumper, win games of footy, and enjoy each other's company. Yeah, the first time here in 06, I didn't get to play seniors while I was here that time, but obviously you can't look past Johnny Hines and Ash Roberts, who were both captain of the footy club. Robbo was a kind of quieter kind of bloke, and I still remember running the 3K time trial next to him, and him grabbing me on the last 800 metres and pretty much dragging me along with him to finish right next to him. That was the kind of leader he was. He was really good at just leading through example and grabbing blokes with him and pulling them along. And old Johnny Hines had another way about him. He was a bit more of a charismatic kind of creature with a bit more flair, and he led on and off the field. My kind of personality, I responded pretty well to his kind of leadership style, which was really good. But then you had a bloke called Byron Murphy running around here as well, who ended up going over to South Australia and playing for Glenelg and captained them, I believe, for a number of years. He was a sensational footballer then, and obviously that year had Aaron Edwards running around out here as well, taking hangers and kicking bags. So yeah, probably in 06 those guys. In 09, 10 and 11, I grew up with a guy called Michael Hibbard. A lot of guys know about Hibbo, and I don't like to talk about him and pump his tyres up too much because his head's big enough as it is. But some of the things, I kind of grew up with him and played with him before, so that was just Hibbo. A lot of people seen some of the stuff he did, but I think it probably was in 2010, I think it was. In 09 especially, he was only 18 years old, and some of the marks and back into packs and that he was taking and stuff like that. He's playing AFL now, obviously. He's a great footballer, and you can't look past running around with a bloke called Paul Kennedy, who a lot of guys know, his long flowing hair and stuff like that. And he was another great guy that I played footy with that he used to call me the black sheep whenever we used to have a laugh about things. But Paul was a different kind of character compared to me. I was always outgoing, laughing, carrying on like a turkey. Paul was always very methodical and very knowledgeable and a bit quieter in how he went about his business, but I loved everything he did with his footy and everything he gave to me from his side of the fence. And then I can't go past my little mate Mitchy Boswood with his little flaming red hair, Hellboy running around, and same as Shane Hockey. They're two other guys that I had a great time with, and I was lucky enough to run through the midfield a little bit with those guys, and we used to have a ball playing together and giving each other a bit of lip, and it was a great time. So. When you play footy, you're living in a moment where you don't realise it's going to be gone. I'd love to be able to go back to when I was 21, sitting here next to my locker again, about to pull the jumper and run out and play again, and coming in here, and you take it for granted when you're here. Like, you just think it's always going to be here and stuff like that. And now that I'm getting to the end of my playing career, you reflect on all the things that you did as a player, and you always thought they were going to be there, but they're not. And then walking in here, and it's a shame that whenever I watch Frankston play now, I don't really have any guys that I've played with anymore since Shane Hockey this year announced that he was going to retire. There's no real guys that are here that I played with or trained with, so when you come down and watch, you don't have that direct attachment. But when you walk into the change rooms and the club rooms up there, and it brings back a lot of real positive moments in your life and some of your good friendships and that. And past Players Day is always a great day to come down and catch up with anyone. And like all the guys that played footy at Frankston, and with Neil Winterton running around and stuff like that, it's another guy I forgot who's one of the best players I played with as well. He's always up there drinking with Big Normie Clark, and they're all we're all sucking down the pots, and before you know it, you're all reminiscing and carrying on like turkeys again, like you're 18 years old. And yeah, it's great. It's a great place to be. It's a good place to come back into. All the good ones have come from here, actually. Yeah, I've got the porpoise. The porpoise has come from here the first time. I came back from one pre-season, and look, I was always notorious for my skin folds being a little bit bigger than or above what they should have been with anyone else. My skin folds were always a bit better. Enjoyed KFC a little bit too much and a couple of pots too much. And one training session we're running around out there, and I think Mitchy Boswood and a few of the boys were giving me a bit of hell. And because we were playing at the Dolphins, the joke come around that the porpoise was like the fat, kind of short, stubby, overweight version of a dolphin. So all of a sudden, we all started calling me the porpoise, and next thing that moved into the big porp, big prossel. There's a number of ones that come out of that one, that was good. And one of the things with all those nicknames, I've always embraced them and loved them and said them myself. And the whistle was another one here that it's come after a couple of cold sessions out on the training track with a few boys in the showers. So the whistle and stuff like that. And normally you get around the local footy traps and you say, "Oh, do you know the whistle or the porpoise?" And someone will say, "Yeah, I know him." So yeah, they're a good laugh. And obviously Crowbar, and there's plenty of other ones, mate, through there. But that's what's been good about footy. You always get new nicknames wherever you rock up. And one thing I've always found, I've always been good to give out nicknames too. So you've got to take the good with the bad. And the good thing about a nickname, I think too, is if you show any kind of sign to someone that's giving you a nickname that you don't like it generally sticks pretty quickly. So Warwick Miller, I'll give him credit. He gave me the whistle, and Mitchy Boswood gave me the porpoise. So yeah, well done, boys. When I was playing here, I used to have some of the loudest kind of music going on through my headphones, and people would be in the change rooms or in the trainers' rooms over there laughing at me. So I was into like all my hardcore, metalcore, real heavy kind of stuff. I used to have a band called Heaven Shall Burn, Parkway Drive and all that. But Heaven Shall Burn, there used to be a couple of songs in that they were that good. And I still remember once we tried to put the stereo in here, and I tried to take over once and put my music on, and a few of the boys are a bit, they're into their house music and a bit of, R&B, and I think a few of them are into a bit of Justin Bieber at that stage as well. So, here's me sitting in the corner over there and my headphones down, just giving the old head, looking a bit crazy. And I don't think it makes anyone crazy. It's just the kind of music I like listening to, really. So, yeah, anything with good drums, good guitar, and the vocalist with the ability to scream with sound like he's strangling a cat or something like that. That's generally what I'm into, so yeah, it's good. Yeah, I played basketball, played cricket, played mixed netball, played footy. I spent a year even playing soccer. I went out in under 12s and went and played soccer for a year, and then came back to playing footy. But footy was never something that I always thought I was good at or anything like that. It was just something I kind of did. I can still remember going through Stingrays. I got down to Stingrays in like under 14s or whenever the program started down there, and went the whole way through that program. But I still remember there was plenty of times in the under 18s program where I hated it. Like, I hated footy, and I wanted to throw it away. But I'm glad that I went through it all, and in essence I enjoyed it. But one of the things that probably I enjoyed about playing Stingrays to a certain extent was when I played at Somerville. I played seniors. My first game I was 16 years old. We played Keysborough, and then the next week we played Bomb Beach and Jason Chappell. I don't know if he king hit me or whatever he did, but he lined me out and got me really good. And I was a 16-year-old kid, and I still remember you don't see this in footy anymore, and I still remember getting up off the ground and having blokes that I didn't really know. He's 300 game captain over there, and you got all these guys just punching on with each other just to defend your honour for playing footy because someone's got you. And that was kind of a moment in footy where I thought, this game's brilliant. You get a bunch of blokes together that hardly know each other, but when you pull that jumper on together, and you've got this kind of mutual respect for each other, which is great. And I've always enjoyed footy because of that. So, and then from then on, playing Stingrays, that environment though I probably thought didn't really give me, because there's so much pressure on you, so critiqued, and there's so much, you do this wrong, you've got to do this better, there's so much criticism. Sometimes you don't know you're any good. I found through it, you keep your spot every week, so you're obviously doing something okay. But I went through, obviously, when Nathan Jones and all that were going through, and you knew that he was good and he was better than everyone else and he was going to go through, but you never kind of knew yourself where you stood. So through that program, I probably didn't know that I thought obviously I was above the general people because I was playing TAC Cup footy, but I never thought I was better than really heaps of other people. It was probably not till I went back to play footy at Somerville after I left here the first time, and you start getting tagged every week, you're playing midfield, you've got a lot of pressure on you, and you get a lot of respect from your opposition and stuff you're playing against, and you kind of don't realise why. Obviously you're finding the footy a fair bit, then you start thinking to yourself, I'm obviously not bad footballer. And then I thought, well, I should go back down to Frankston and give it another go. So here I am. I come back down here and had another great 3 years of my footy career playing VFL footy. Yeah, no, my brother, my mum's side of the family, her brother was a really good footballer. He played Vic Country under 18s and did his knees. This was back when you couldn't go and get an arthroscope or anything like that, so that pretty much finished his career from an early age, and he would have been a good footballer. But dad's side, dad played footy for a number of years too, never to really high level or anything like that, but he still loved the game and gave it a crack and everything like that. But that's just been within my family, but no one ever pushed us in to play footy or anything like that either. It was whatever you want to do. Like, probably I still have a laugh with Dad about it now whenever we talk about that year I went and played soccer. It was pretty hard for him, but didn't once say don't play it or go play footy or anything like that. So, but no, I went back and played footy, and I think over the years Mum and Dad and the rest of the family have always enjoyed watching Steve and I go and run around and kick the Sharon around, which has been good. I think it's one of those things with footy clubs. Like I've spoken to people about it a lot, and Frankston had this kind of allure to me. When I came back here the second time to play here, I came back here, there was no motivation for money, there was no motivation for anything else. It was to come down and be a part of playing at Frankston, just to wear that jumper. That was all he wanted to do. So Somerville to me has that kind of same effect, where I played all my junior footy there. A lot of my mates are still there. There's guys that drink beer over the fence and call me all sorts of names and love having a beer with you after the game in the rooms, and you can see how much the footy club means to those people. And and for a lot of them, they'd love to see me obviously playing back there. That was one of the things, and one of the reasons I wanted to go back there too was I got to a point now where money wasn't a big thing for me in footy anymore. Individual kind of success wasn't really important to me anymore. I'm at that age now where I'd love to win a premiership, and Somerville obviously they're going pretty well, but I wanted to go back and play with my brother and all those guys that I grew up with. And that club hasn't won a flag for 30 years next year, I think it is. So if we could go back and win a premiership, not saying it's going to be an easy task or anything like that, to be a part of it and to be able to achieve that at that footy club compared to any other footy club out there would be, that'd tick a life goal off, I guess you could say, and I hope it happens, but you never know. So that's one of the reasons. Playing interleague, probably since I came. Once again, you talk about when you're at Frankston, this is what it's all about. When I was at Frankston, you were playing VFL footy, I was still just playing down here, even though I was in the leadership group and had all those things and that going on. But when I was at Vermont, assistant coach, Seaford for 2 years coaching, you forget about playing footy. You forget about the love of why you're even there to begin with. It becomes more of a work kind of role, what you're trying to do. You're still playing and enjoying yourself, but you're out there. You've got other guys relying on you. They all want to know. They all want a piece of you and stuff like that. And going back and playing interleague was just rocked up, could be usual self, talking guff with everyone. Everyone's having a laugh, giving each other crap again, and you're winning and you're playing footy together with a bunch of blokes that you're playing against that you respect. It just kind of clicked in me again that while I'm 29 next year, there's only so many years of playing footy left. I could go and coach and do whatever I wanted to for the next 30 or 40, 50 years if I wanted to, but there's only a small window of being a player, so I wanted to obviously go back now and just enjoy that part of footy again. Eddie Crowe, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Well, a lot of people don't think I work, which I actually do. I work in sales and look after a number of things, and a lot of it actually revolves around socialising with clients. So I'm either drinking lattes, having lunches, selling my soul on a daily basis. But that's generally what I'll be out there doing from a day, out there trying to sell things and grow our business where I work, which is the fundamental thing about it all. But after the working kind of hours, I'm generally eating dumplings or playing PlayStation or watching movies, or my housemate Adam Rose telling him he's like my naughty little brother and we're always fighting or arguing with each other. So yeah, mate, that's about it. Yeah. Look, it was always the good thing about coaching and stuff like that. Obviously, Toe Punt and his radio show, Andrew Kelly, they'd always ring the coaches up and have a chat to you and stuff like that. And that side of footy, I've always, when I was coaching, I actually enjoyed that. One of the probably disappointing things is from not necessarily the club's perspective, but the league compared to playing the Eastern Footy League, in terms of how they control their media and stuff like that. There's so much that coaches have got going on and stuff like that to be able to share with the community and people listening or wanting to hear about, that you can actually engage people with. It's hard to, on the weekend, especially when I was coaching at Seaford, we weren't winning as much games of footy. So there's always a lot of people talking about, I should have done this, should have done that, why aren't we doing this, what's he thinking, what's he doing? When you've got avenues as a coach to do press releases or video interviews about the game and stuff like that, you can give people a snapshot of what your mind was. Why did we do this? What structures broke down? What are you going to do? What's the club doing? Who's coming in? Who are the players to watch? Things like that. So you can always engage the community and stuff with all that kind of stuff. But the radio show, just naturally when I finished up at Seaford, the boys rang me up and said, "Oh, do you want to come on the show?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'll come down." And we got on the show, and then I really enjoyed it, and said to him at the end of it, I said, "Oh, do you want to come on next week?" "Oh, yeah, Crowe, why not? Come down, mate, if you want to do it again." And then after that, we just kept doing it and got to do special comments through the final series with a few games as well, which was really good. And I guess it's good too with the guys that they got on the radio show. Vossi's been around for years. Brett Clinic have been coached footy clubs. Toey's been covering the game for years as well. And just with me, you got Tony Blackford's floating around on the Nepean show and stuff like that. It was just, the dynamic got good on there because I had a refreshed approach to footy where it is today. A couple of the players that are playing now, I've grown up with a lot of them and stuff like that. So it was good. I really enjoyed it, and if they want to keep me involved in the media and stuff like that, I've always enjoyed it and happy to share my time and do it. And the Mornington Brewery threw me a slab after the game with the 3RP boys and stuff like that as well, so that was good. But I love that stuff, volunteering your time to talk about footy. People talk about local footy enough as it is to each other, that you can do it and people actually listen to you and want to hear your opinion on it. But if you know better than anyone else, I never say I know better than anyone else. This is my opinion and that's how it is, take it or leave it. But it's been good, mate. I really enjoyed it.